As a leading manufacturer in the apparel industry, how and why did Crystal embark on its sustainability journey?
Okay. Actually, the story started in 2006 when our chairman watched The Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. So the documentary actually painted quite a grim future, to humanity.
Mhm.
So our chairman, after he watched the documentary, came to talk to the whole top management and share the idea. I think all of us agreed that we should do something for the planet, but what we are worried about is, our competitiveness and our future, as a company. Would it be affected by investing too much in the planet? But after a short time, actually, we aligned amongst the top team that we have to achieve a triple bottom line goal, which is people, profit, and planet. So the task is quite challenging as we need to deliver not just for the planet and the people, but also and also to maintain or improve our profitability. Initially, at least for me, I think I found it to be kind of mission impossible. But actually, my team was able to find a lot of projects, which were able to have a very good return, maybe a 3 to 4 year return, which means 25% to 30% return on investments. So those are tremendously good projects, that we should be doing it anyways, whether it's for the planet or not. So now I think the now the investment in green technology, the return is a lot lower than before, but still it can return maybe 10 to 15% return, which is still not bad, as an investment. So after that, started in 2004, what we did is we started our first 5 year global sustainability target. So now we are on our fourth plan already. And during that time, we have reduced around 40% of our product carbon footprint, 33% of our product freshwater footprint. And we have in our female empowerment program, we have been able to train over 55,000 female workers. Uh, and also, we have planted 3 million trees. Our next milestone, our next target is we have created a Crystal Sustainability Vision 2030, which encompasses 8 impact areas across social and environmental aspects, with reference to the UN Sustainability Development Goals.
Um, First of all, before I ask my next question, congratulations for being recognized on the CDP Climate Change 2023 A list. I know you were the only Hong Kong-based company to have received that accolade, so congratulations. Um,
Okay, thanks.
Climate change is undeniably an imminent topic that different countries and industries worldwide are focusing on. How are you leading Crystal in delivering those goals, your key goals and strategies to drive towards net zero?
Yes, we have committed to net zero by 2050 in 2022. We have set an interim target of 35% reduction in aggregate emission by 2030. So initially, when we're studying about these goals, we really did a very long calculation about the feasibility, etc. But actually, the challenge is not that 35%. 35% in 2030 actually is not a hard target for us to hit. But the actually the real reduction for us is more like 80% because of the associated emissions with business growth. Because for any business growth, we have to reduce emission by 100%. So because we have planned quite a lot of business growth up to 2030, so our reduction is actually 80%, which is quite challenging by in the next 6 years. So right now, what we have set out a group-wide decarbonization pathway. So our key strategy, in the carbon reduction is number one, we're going to be deploying renewable energy. So we are going to be putting solar panels onto all of our factory roofs. So that's the easiest to do. So right now we've already installed 14 megawatts, and we'll continue to install solar panels onto all of our factories before 2030. And also we've employed a energy consultant to go to all of our factories to study what we can do to reduce the energy usage. And the feedback right now is we can reduce around 10% of our energy usage. But the biggest part of what we want to do is on the productivity enhancement through manufacturing excellence. Because I think what we see is the biggest help, the biggest, I think your savings would be from an enhancement in productivity. So just imagine if we can produce 30% more using the same facilities and the same energy, then it means that we are reducing our energy per product by 30%. So that is one of the key driving force of this whole strategy. So the last part is fuel switch to more renewable sources like biomass, etc. So other than the carbon reduction, we also are investing a lot into sustainable materials because that would be a key part of the upstream, carbon emission, as well as reduce waste, etc. So we have created a net zero dreams whereby we use sustainable materials, and also we use waterless washing. So I think because freshwater reduction is also part of our sustainability target, because freshwater is getting more and more scarce also. And also we have developed a lot of recycled materials using the waste in our factory, because in our production we have a lot of cut waste which can be actually be recycled back into production. We have set up a board level sustainability committee to steer the whole strategy.
How do you perceive the integration of that net zero strategy with your broader business objectives? Tying everything
Mm.
together, how are you doing that?
I think the toughest part would be tying that with profitability, which means competitiveness at the end. I think I think I kind of shared it earlier that I think the key is how to deliver practical, sustainability solutions that makes financial sense. Because that's the key. But also the second is as important is how to share a common vision with our customers. Because a lot of what we need to do actually needs help with our customers. But luckily, actually, all of our customers have committed to net zero themselves. So they need our help to deliver net zero for their objectives. So right now we see actually net zero has become a very good competitive edge. It helps us to improve our standing, our image with our customers as well as our employees. And on the governmental side, I think it also helps on the business continuity and risk reduction, because I think right now I think there are a lot of governments are preparing a lot of emerging policies and regulations. So I think it serves us well on the risk management and to reduce climate related risk, to build resilience in our operations in various countries.
What about, on the manufacturing topic? In the face of this very complex market environment, why is Crystal investing in manufacturing excellence? And how
Mm.
does it contribute to, your achieving your business goals and staying ahead?
Okay. I think manufacturing excellence right now is getting very more and more important. It's one of our key directions. I think it helps in a few areas. I think speed, cost, and productivity. They are all very important to our business. Speed. Right now I think speed actually enhances the efficiency of the whole supply chain. by, let's say, it helps our customer to buy more of the right products and less of the wrong products. So more of the right products helps our customer to reduce their markdowns, but also to help them to increase their margins. But less of the wrong products helps to reduce waste in the whole system. Because why are we producing and selling goods that the consumer does not want? So how are we go about doing this? I think I can split it into two parts. One on the hardware side and the other on the software side. On the hardware side, I think is factory automation. I think so we are investing a lot into let's say right now in smart warehouse. So right now, I think our newly installed warehouse have a more than 50% reduction in people, as well as much a much higher efficiency in the loading and unloading process. Uh, and the second is on smart logistics. So right now, actually, the AGV is getting very cost efficient. So we are actually putting more and more AGVs into our factories. So the AGVs helps us to move goods, from, let's say, from the warehouse to cutting, from cutting to pre-assembling process, from pre-assembling process to sewing room, from sewing room to, let's say, printing, washing, and then to packing, and then back to the warehouse, whereby it will be loaded to the trucks. So smart logistics, so the logistics part actually contributes quite a lot of cost in uh, 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 in the factory, because right now for every sewing worker we have more, at least one or a little bit more than one supporting workers. So logistics is part of those supporting workers. So right now we have done a lot of factory automation in the sewing room in the past 15 years, 20 years, but there's a lot more room to be reduced on the logistics part, especially with available technologies right. I think the future would be, I think, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, and recently there's a lot of, I think, developments in humanoid robots. We are also studying how we can use these two technologies to incorporate into our factories, to help to enhance the whole productivity going forward.
Thank you. That's very interesting. Um, In terms of collaboration with your brands and suppliers, obviously, this takes a lot of all the initiatives that you have take a lot of buy-in from your greater community. Um, as an essential step towards achieving sustainability targets and preparing for the future, how does Crystal advocate partnership with those brands and suppliers and your wider world?
Brands are increasingly concerned about sustainability. All of our brands have already committed to carbon net zero. So actually, it's not hard to create work with our brands, to create plans with our brands on how to achieve these goals. Also, we have invited brands to join our internal sharing of our net zero roadmap to all of our factories. And also, we are working to collaborate with brands and suppliers on a lot of sustainability projects. On externally, we are also participating in a lot of industry coalition and organizations, including UN Fashion Industry Climate Charter. These organizations serve as platforms to enhance exchange and collaborations with brands and value chain partners. We also spoke at panels during COP27 and COP28 to share insights on multilateral partnerships.
Obviously, all of this comes with great challenges for the company. You have very ambitious goals, but alongside the progress and successes that you've talked about, what would you say are the main challenges that you're encountering as you drive change in the fashion industry?
I think each brand has their own pace and their own paths. Although it's for a common goal. So I think it's a bit challenging, to align all these different, goals together, and also speed. of achieving these goals. I think that's why we advocate equal partnership, to work together, on common paths. But I think the other challenge is, I think, and the manufacturer side, I think we are more proactive, but most of the manufacturers are more passive. I think, I think more manufacturers need to speed up the implementation of net zero. And But on the upstream suppliers, like fabric mills and trim suppliers, I think the readiness in general is even worse. I think a lot more. I think promotion, education needs to be done on the T2, T3 suppliers. Uh, on the governmental side, I think a lot of the regulatory changes are very slow, and we need a bit more incentives, from the governments, to support sustainable practice. Right now, we can only save around maybe 15 to 20% of we can only as energy through putting solar panels on our roofs. If there are more incentives, to build green energies, maybe giving cheaper lands, or maybe offering subsidies to help us to put more, maybe a solar farm next to our factories, etc., that would help our effort much faster.
Very interesting. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.